Hi, I'm Carson Devitt, and today we're here at King's College in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. King's College is a private Catholic college, and today PCN will be talking with the president to tell us a little bit more about its history. Today we are joined by Father Thomas Looney. He's the president here at King's College. Could you tell us, how does King's College start?
Well, King's was founded in 1946, really by an invitation. The Bishop of the Diocese of Scranton, Bishop Hafey, contacted the Congregation of Holy Cross, who runs the University of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana, and asked if there were priests and brothers who could come to found a college here in Luzerne County. It was already a college for Catholic women, Misericordia College, and the bishop wanted an institution to serve men. And so the Congregation of Holy Cross accepted the invitation. So the first priests and brothers at King's came from the University of Notre Dame to found King's to serve, in those days, the sons of coal miners. The college always wanted to support young men, and now young women as well, with affordable and accessible higher education in the Catholic tradition. And so we were founded with that great desire. Our first building was several blocks from here, down on Northampton Street. It was an Army surplus building, which has been torn down. But our first building on this campus was the administration building. And I think the wonderful thing about that building is on the top of that building is the icon of King's College. It's a statue of Christ the King. One of the King's College presidents, Father Leo Flood, who served at the University of Notre Dame, was a man who believed a lot in the power of images. And everyone knows that on the top of the Golden Dome at the University of Notre Dame is a statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Our Lady, Our Lady's University. And so Father Flood said, well, it's a College of Christ the King, so we should have a statue of Christ the King on the top of our building. Now, ours isn't laden in gold as the statue of Mary is at Notre Dame, but a local artist from Kingston crafted the statue, and it was raised up on top of the building. And it's really our iconic image, right? We are here, the College of Christ the King, to provide a great Catholic liberal arts education with pre-professional programs for young men and women. As part of our Catholic heritage, we've always provided places for prayer and meditation on our campus. The newest place is a building, in fact, built in 1872 by the Presbyterian community here in Wilkes-Barre. A couple, the Wadhams, had 3 children, and those 3 children very tragically died in an epidemic back in the 1870s. And their parents wanted to build a church in their memory. And so they built the Memorial Presbyterian Church. And when that congregation dwindled several years ago, the college purchased that building. It's a beautiful piece of architecture. It's an all-stone structure. And in that structure, at the heart of its sanctuary, is the coal altar that I spoke about. And that altar is the sign and symbol of sacrifice, of the love and the zeal and the determination that it takes to give oneself over to something really important in one's life, like being a student and studying, preparing oneself for the future. It requires sacrifice, giving of oneself. And so we celebrate that beautiful church built in the 1870s, now overlooking our campus from North Street, as really significant for us. That coal altar is a precious symbol of who we are at King's College. So we've expanded our campus, right? There was a time when we realized we needed to build residence halls. Our first residence hall was a former apartment building, the Hafey Marion building here on campus now. And in the early days, that served as a dormitory and also as an office space for faculty. And so we needed, of course, then, as the college expanded, we needed a science building. We needed a place for students to come and learn the sciences as well as the liberal arts. And so we built what's now the Mulligan Science Center. And then later on, we added on the Parenti Science Complex, right? Because so many students were coming to us wanting to study and do pre-med, but also a physician's assistant program, which is one of the stellar programs we have here at King's College. And so as the buildings expanded, as our capacity to educate not just students from the local area, but also from further geographic reaches, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, we built residence halls. The first one, Holy Cross Hall, is a building that has housed our male students for over 50 years. For many years, on the top of that building, the priests and brothers lived, and the students weren't permitted to go there. And the students had a way of speaking about it. They called it heaven, right? Because it was probably the tallest building, but also was inaccessible to them. They weren't allowed up there. So it had a little bit of a mystique. So the priests and brothers lived with the students in the residence halls, that close personal relationship that's always been at the heart of King's. And so Holy Cross Hall was the place for our young men to live. And then a few years later, in the 1970s, we wanted to welcome women to the campus. And so we needed to build a residence hall for them. And so we built Esseff Hall, which is on Main Street here in Wilkes-Barre, for the women on our campus. And of course, as the college has developed, we need further residence halls. So we bought a former Margarita apartment building. We bought a former kind of printing edifice, club building, and we transformed that into residence, apartment style residence, so students can come and live comfortably, share a great life. Because at the heart of the college experience is also that living together with other human beings, learning to share some space, learning to figure out how do I negotiate life, right? And it's a really important part of what we do here.
Now, back in 1972, there was a flood that came through Wilkes-Barre. How significant was that flood for King's College?
It was extremely significant. In fact, I'm standing here by the watermark where the floodwaters came up to in 1972 with the Agnes flood. And it was between two of our almost brand new buildings at the time, our campus center and our library. And so the first floors of the library and of our student center were totally demolished by the waters of the flood. And it took a lot of work, volunteers, students, faculty, and staff, cleaning out those first floors of these buildings so that we could open in September of that year in 1972. And so over the course of time, these buildings have become really significant for us. In fact, when Father Thomas O'Hara was president of King's, our student center was expanded to include a third floor. And while that process was happening, the terrible realities of 9/11 happened and the destruction of the World Trade Center in New York City. 3 of our alumni who worked in that World Trade Center died on that day. And so when Father O'Hara had this building reconstructed, what he did was he named 3 of the rooms on the 3rd floor of this building in honor of those alumni. Ryan Walsh, Leonard Snyder, and Mr. Fitzgerald. An amazing testament to how King's cared for its alumni, even in the midst of tragedy. And then our Corrigan Library. This past year, that building, which had not been touched since it was cleaned out in 1972 from the flood, it was transformed into a brand new Student Success Center at the heart of our campus. When King's welcomes a student, one of the things we say is that we will walk with you, we will accompany you so that you can be successful. And this brand new Student Success Center houses offices that will wrap services of care around our students. A tutoring center, for example, an advisement center, a writing center, really at the heart of our campus to help each student to be successful. The modern library is a new phenomenon, and we're so proud of where we are right now at King's with this phenomenal building.
So we're outside the Physical Education Center here on King's College campus. Could you tell us what's the history behind this building?
Sure, I think the history really starts with a philosophy. So the Congregation of Holy Cross, who runs King's, we believe in the transformation of the whole person through education. And so we're really also focused not just on the mind and the heart, but also on the physical well-being of our students. And so back in the 1960s, this Scanlon Physical Education Center was built to provide our students an opportunity to play NCAA sports and to have recreational opportunities right here in the heart of the city on our campus. In fact, soon after the building was dedicated, the first athletic competition here was a basketball game between the University of Notre Dame and King's College. Needless to say, we didn't fare well, but we put up a really great fight. And that grit has been at the heart of athletics here at King's from the very beginning. About 15 years ago, we expanded this gym to an auxiliary gym to provide even more space for our students. And we have, about a mile from here, the Betzler Sports Complex. There, football, basketball, field hockey, soccer, track and field, softball, baseball are all played by our students in NCAA Division III competition. It's a great sports complex, again, providing our students an opportunity to develop leadership skills as part of athletic teams, and also to have that reality of the health that comes from participating in sports and seeking to be in shape, doing your best, collaborating with others.
I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about the history of King's College. Thank you so much for joining PCN today.